Shalom and greetings to you all. I hope you all had a great spring equinox and are busily enmeshed in doing what you need to do to create the life you need and want in the first 12 days of the month. It marks your intention, your energy that you put forth and exhibit for that month. And I know it's much more difficult this year than it's ever been before. Even though we are home, these are trying times, worrisome times. But you have a built-in GPS system to get you where you need to go. And that system is faith. Not religion, not dogma. It's faith. That is spiritual warfare. When flesh and blood break it down. You either got faith or you got unbelief. And there ain't no neutral ground. The enemy is subtle. Howbeit we are so deceived. With the truth in our hearts, and we still don't believe. Yeah, you just got to trust yourself and you got to believe, my friends. Now, in a short period of time, the world's golden calves have come tumbling down like dominoes. Sports teams and stars, film stars, theater, music, money. What's left? Like the plagues of Egypt changed the world, this plague has changed ours. Our values are changing. The time has come to find your personal spiritual connection, not religious. Leave the dogma out. You have the time to be with family, to be with yourself. Turn off the TikTok, turn off the Facebook, turn off the Zoom. Use some of the time to connect internally. Everything emanates from inside out, not outside in. So look within, validate yourself, connect to your own higher being. Speaking of the plagues of Egypt, we're a few weeks from Passover, and we will talk about it. And I'll post a Seder primer for you, especially since you may be participating in a very small Seder this year. So we'll focus on how to have a Seder for yourself or your family, and the focus will be on how to get the meaning from the holiday and make it a part of you. And of course, we're also just under a month away from Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. And you do not have to wait for that one day to light a candle. Light a candle anytime for the souls of those great martyrs. And as we get closer, we're going to talk about it also. Now, I know for many, it does not feel very spring-like, and it doesn't feel very renewed. And it's not just because of the weather, but because of uncertainty and fear. It's like the dark side of the Force or the evil of Sauron has taken over, but that's not the case. It's never the case. So let's all come together now as we come together every week as a group of like-minded, like-souled fellows seeking unification of spirit. Remember, it's not a religious thing. It's a kind, caring human being thing, which we all are, exhibiting the collective consciousness of seekers coming together and showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavur, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light and keeping fear at bay. And once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody, physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually to gather and share from Psalm 133. The Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevetachi Gam Yach. Hine Matov. Shevetachi Gam. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world, my friends. We are a community. This is your setting aside just a little bit of time, a little bit of sacred time in your own little sacred space to honor and converse with whatever, whoever you happen to believe in. It's a part of your kavanah. Your intention that you put out to the universe, your goodwill. Your intention is part of everything. So let's take some time now and let's send some of that goodwill, some light and some healing out to whoever that needs it. The world needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It floats through space, finding those in need, so send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Just think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. Not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. So let's send thoughts and energy for healing and renewal for everybody in need, for those in our hearts and our minds. And Bob, we're all thinking of you at this time. For Tally, for David, for Dan and Ben, for Cassie, for Chris, and for Melissa. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love that we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world's a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. Renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch. Let's all have our spirits renewed. It's the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. May He who blessed, Misha Baruch. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, at this time of the year, rabbis, ministers, priests, the world over, have worked on prayers for these times, special prayers now. Oh God, we gather together, separated by distance, but united in spirit. We know we're in a war against a plague, and the more we are together, the stronger we will emerge. We know the challenges are enormous, but so are the opportunities, whether alone or with loved ones. We have the abundance of time for ourselves, for others. We commit to using that time to help those in greater need. We are lifesavers and life enhancers. We give thanks for those protecting us, for the researchers, for our leaders, to the providers of our daily needs. We pray for the well-being of lifesavers everywhere. For those not well, may they fully recover. For those with difficulty, may they overcome their challenges. We pray for a cure, and that the whole world be healed in body and spirit. We ask you, O God, bless the world and everyone in it. If you find it in your heart, can I be forgiven? Guess I owe you some kind of apology. I've escaped death so many times, I know I'm only living by the saving grace that's over me. We will all get through this together, my friends. Now, the book of Leviticus, which is where we are in the Torah now, it's the shortest of the 5 books that make up the Torah, and it sits squarely in the middle. It stops the story, the history. It does not belong, and it turns off many from completing the Torah. It is a book of the priests, for the priests. It is their handbook. Now, but the central concern of the book is the conduct of the new cult, with elaborate stipulation of how the sacrificial animals are to be butchered, what parts of them are to be burned on the altar, how their blood is to be ritually sprinkled on the altar. Purification is a dominant consideration in all of this, and the legislation lays out elaborate procedures for cleansing both persons and substances of a rich variety of impurities. Now, if you never realized what this book actually was, by the later Middle Ages, small Jewish boys were introduced to the Torah not through the great story of creation and the absorbing tales of the patriarchs in Genesis, but through Leviticus. Because in Rashi's devising of the academic slogan, "Let the pure ones come and study laws of purity," the stories did not matter. The rule of ritual did. Right now, you'll also notice there's a single verb that focuses the major theme of Leviticus, divide. And in Hebrew, it is hivdal, and you'll see it all over this book. Now, that verb, of course, stands at the beginning of the priestly story of creation. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God made the vault, and divided the water beneath the vault from the water above the vault. So it was. In this vision of cosmogony, the condition before the world was called into being was a chaotic mixture of different elements. Welter and waste is what the Bible calls it. What enables existence and provides a framework for the development of human nature, conceived in God's image, and of human civilization, is this process of division and insulation, light from darkness, day from night, upper waters from lower waters, and dry land from the latter. That same process is repeatedly manifested in the ritual, sexual, and dietary laws of Leviticus, as we constantly see efforts to divide between the unclean and the clean. Everything in its place, everything in its time. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. Now that's from the book of Ecclesiastes, and it's one of the writings of the Bible considered authored by Solomon, and a part of what's known as the wisdom literature, generally read at Sukkot. And it's one of the gathering festivals where, people get together, and so they would, read from this book. Now, it's quite fascinating as it's presented as a biography of somebody called Kohelet, which means assembler, but it's often taken as teacher in some of the translations you'll see. And we are given his wisdom, and we observe his journey. And friends, it is the journey that's important. The journey we're all on. It is the journey to understanding and acceptance. This week we read Vayikra, and he called the book of Leviticus. Now, Leviticus 1:1 introduces a new phrase, a phrase that will dominate the rest of the Torah. And he called Moses, and the Lord spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, speak to the Israelites and say to them. Moses is set as the sole intermediary between the people and God, and God's instructions come through Moses, and Moses alone. Speak to the people and say. That is going to preface almost everything from this point on. And you quickly see that this book does not belong here. It's a manual for the priest, written well after the nation was established and the rules and regulations were put in place, as it covered things like burnt offerings, grain offerings, offerings of well-being, sin offerings, offerings with restitution. And in a book with a theme of division, separation, distinction, there's another interesting distinction that's set, and that is intentional versus inadvertent. That is by mistake. We all make mistakes. Yes, the world's sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, my friends, be happy and be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end the terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community, my friends. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life, and tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns of our lives that weave through the fabric of our life. It's our efforts to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect. Everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. The secret of forgiveness, my friends, the secret of compassion, the secret of peace is all in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance will bring. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land that is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, aware, present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life and continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. Neither can you, my friends. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. Be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief, what they mean for you. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them, tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. And watch your words, because they'll hurt you, they'll heal you, they can imprison you, and they can free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to the voice of God as he, she, it, whatever, talks to you. And please think about the life you want and what you need to do to put in place. Think about your connection and think about the acceptance you need to exhibit, because that will be the acceptance you get. And remember, this is the time to see what it is that you can do. You have given all there is to give. What can I do for you? You have given me life to give. How can I live for you? I know all about poison. I know all about fiery darts. I don't care how rough the road is. Show me where it starts. Whatever pleases you, tell it to my heart. I don't deserve it, but I sure did make it through. What can I do for you? We can all do for somebody. Now, thank you for joining me. Stay safe. Continue building the year you want. Get ready for the Festival of Freedom, my friends. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.